Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Devotional for this Tuesday. I'm Pastor Tim. I'm very privileged and honored to be with you. This morning, we're going to be looking at a verse out of the book of Titus. We're going to be looking at chapter 3 and verses 1 through 3. I want to talk just a little bit about what's going on in our country right now and how that pertains to some biblical teachings that we want to look at this morning. Before I get into this, though, the point that I'm going to make this morning, I do not want to steal it. I want to give credit where credit is due. I read this yesterday from a pastor that I know on my Facebook page. His name is Pastor Joe Brewer, and I want to give him credit for what I'm about to teach you this morning, as I read it from him, but it's a great point. Titus 3, 1 through 3 says this: "Remind the people to be subject to rulers and authorities, to be obedient, to be ready to do whatever is good, to slander no one, to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle toward everyone. At one time, we too were foolish, disobedient, deceived, and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. We lived in malice and envy, being hated and hating one another." This is exactly what's going on in our world today. We see bitterness. We see people in the streets protesting. And listen, I'm not picking a side. This is not black or white or whatever. This is just people hating people and people protesting against people hating people. But here's the thing, and this is what the pastor said on the Facebook page. People are trying to say, hey, we need to love one another. We need to be at peace with one another. We need to get along with each other. But they're not willing to go to the person who brings peace. They're not willing to go to the person who is love. And this is what he said: people want the teachings of the Lord, but they don't want the Lord of the teaching. And when you do that, you end up with exactly what we see in our streets, and that is violence, chaos, unruliness, disobedience, because without the Lord of the teachings of the Lord are absolutely ineffective. And so listen, get in this book and learn about it, but first, your utmost responsibility as a Christian, or if you're not a Christian, is to have a personal relationship with the Lord of the teachings. He and only He can bring alive the teachings of the Lord in your life and help you to live by them and obey them. So that's the point I want to make this morning. Our country is in dire need right now, but we're not in dire need of the teachings of the Lord. We're in dire need of the Lord of the teachings. Hope this helps you today. See you tomorrow, friends.